Lake Norden, South Dakota. That's our venture today to the town of Lake Norden, about 31 miles south and slightly west of Watertown, South Dakota. It is 4th of July weekend, and they're getting ready for a big celebration. And the reason I'm in Lake Norden is for a reason. Even though there's just 545 people here, there's a purpose while I'm here, or there's a purpose that I'm here. There's the PD and ambulance. This town has a lot of good memories for me. I played baseball here. They were an opponent of mine for 25 years. I would come to this little town and they had such a good baseball team. And I just wanted to relive a little bit of that. I played ball well into my 40s. Here's a nice little coffee shop, nice little hut. That's how you do coffee, folks. Keep it simple. Good for you, brew company. But there's something more important to me here, even than just the ball field and those memories. There's a building here that I want to show you in this tiny little town. And as you can see, they're getting ready for 4th of July celebrations. It's July 3rd. They throw a big shindig here. They do. Capped off by a doubleheader baseball game. But I'm here for a reason, and we're going to get here. But I want to show you this little downtown. This cute little store there. I'm actually going to walk by where I want to go because I'm going to show you here in a little while why I'm here. And I hope one day to be inducted into this fraternity. We'll see. But this is a nice little downtown. I always give Minnesota their props, but they have a nice downtown here as well. You see they're setting up the bouncy houses. What's up with me and bouncy houses? I find every one of them. Now this downtown's been re-prettied up over the years. There's little doubt about it. I've drank a few beers in there after a ball game, the Bullpen Bar and Grill. Really a nice building right there. That was not there back in my day of coming here to play baseball. Beautiful building, very modern. That was the main door to the Bullpen. After a game, we'd come here and drink a few sodas. Very nice storefronts here. Salon and fitness and tanning, chiropractor. And now we're going to get to an original building. Premier. This is a lot of the buildings that I knew coming to Lake Norden. This is an old building, the old First National Bank, now First Premier Bank. It's pretty cool architecture. Pretty cool here. This is a town of 545 people, folks. Beautiful building. And it has drip coffee and baked goods, Charrito Mexican food, and some more commercial space available. Hey, looking to start up a little business. This ain't a bad little area. Beautiful building. There's the city office for the city of Lake Norden. And Don Chrisman Toy Museum. Hmm. Got some things going on there. Yeah. Lake Norton's going to have a city park splash pad. Interesting. 545 people. Wow. Sanford. My wife is a nurse at Sanford Clinic. Closed on Wednesdays. Like I said, very small town, but very nice. A lot of nice stuff here. He's working hard. I'm hardly working. And of course, what small little town does not have a community center? There's a Lake Norton Community Center. Now we're to the reason why I'm here. Lake Norton, South Dakota is home to the South Dakota Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame. And I hope to one day be inducted after 25 years of playing. I believe they're open. Aha. 25 years I played South Dakota Amateur Baseball, loved every minute of it. And for the record, if the committee is watching this, I am a .345 lifetime hitter with a home run, a stolen base, or a pitching victory in 3 different decades, 16-game hitting streak, and 87 career pickoffs. So let's break this down a little bit and take a look at some of the history here of South Dakota amateur baseball, because it's got a great history. These are some of the inductees recently. I played ball with some of them. Believe it or not, that's how old I am. I know him. Baseball's just the greatest sport. A lot of inductees. South Dakota Amateur Baseball, I believe, started in the early 1900s. Here's a cool photo of a game being played in snow. Black Hill State versus Dakota Wesleyan, May 4th, 1982. Game was called due to snow. It grabs a hold of the history of South Dakota baseball. South Dakota's first women umpire, her name was Tommy Collins. And here we have an area where South Dakotans who played Major League Baseball. For those of you that love baseball, there's Dave Collins. Floyd Bannister. Names I recognize anyway. Gentleman by the name of Cy Primus from Webster. Played for the St. Louis Cardinals. Webster's near my old stomping grounds growing up. Some more South Dakotans that played pro ball. Calvin Torvey of the Twins. Jim Perry, for those of you really old schoolers. Terry Forster from Sioux Falls. There's his jersey. Some photos along the way. Some of the ballparks. An old program. Really old program. I'm not even sure how old it is. The state amateur baseball tournament was in September back then. Now it's in the earlier part of August, 1953. Here's a old poster. 16 champions battling for a state title, August 30th. In Aberdeen, South Dakota. So yeah, back in the day, now it's in Mitchell, South Dakota now, the Class B, and I think the A is in Sioux Falls or Brookings, but back in the day, Aberdeen, South Dakota was the home to the state tournament. Teams from Watertown, Buffalo Township, I don't even know where that is. Langford, Garden City. See, I'm a big history buff, so some of this stuff is really, really cool to me. It's great to grab onto your history. Here's a photo of the Mitchell Colonels from the Dakota League, 1921. I wasn't quite born yet. So yeah, there's a lot of guys I played with and against. One of the great left-handed hitters of all time right there, Mr. Sherm Cutler, played with and against him. Great guy. Legendary college basketball coach Kurt Fredrickson, played against him. Mr. Bill Richter right there, played against him. One hell of a catcher, played into it, well into his 40s, if not maybe 50. Just some really, really great history. A lot of men. Right there, Mr. Paul Kars from Peaver, South Dakota. Spent a lot of his amateur years in Groton. Just one hell of a great guy. My old government teacher, Mr. George Kelson, great baseball player. Spent his whole life around kids and athletics. Doug Dorr from Millbank, South Dakota. I know him. Like I said, it'd be an honor to be sitting with these gentlemen one day. And here's old Bert Tolson, the Lake Norden manager here in town. Been doing it for as long as I can remember. He is legendary. Dallas Lavin, who was the commissioner of our league for many, many, many years. Right there. Just great history. When you think of South Dakota, you don't really think of baseball being such a winter sport. But the reality is, it has a deep tradition in baseball. Just none of us, really. It's not a high school sport. It's not a high school sanctioned sport, and I think that's one of the drawbacks. I think that's why Minnesota is really what it's at when it comes to amateur baseball. It's a high school sport as well, so that really helps the sport. South Dakota does not have it sanctioned, so there's American Legion, VFW Teener, and that's it. I know a lot of these guys on this wall right here played with and against. Roger Merriam. Gentleman here by the name of Dan Steer. He was a left-handed pitcher with one hell of a slider. Oofta. Yep. A lot of these gentlemen I know. And obviously not everybody gets excited as I do about it, but baseball is a sport I have passion for and I love history. And so if you are ever in Lake Norden, this is where you need to come to look at a little bit of the state's history from an athletic perspective. Founding of the Hall of Fame. Talks about it right there. This tells the story. Now we're going to make our way back into the store. Refinery and Company. We're open late. Booth sales. Awesome. And we're under surveillance. Fair enough. I'll walk in here though. Ooh. Very cool. Very nice little boutique shop. Small towns have such great boutique shops. So if you're ever in Lake Norden, neat little boutique store. Tallow products. Yeah, I like that. So there is Lake Norden, South Dakota for you. As we approach the 4th of July, they're getting ready for their big festival. And yeah, neat little town, vibrant little town. As little towns start to die, they seem to hold their own pretty well. But that's it for the day. I appreciate you coming along, and we'll find another adventure again. I'm always on the go. But until then, have a safe 4th. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye-bye.